Christina, you and your family, you guys now live in Paris.
Yes,
true?
What
has been the biggest adjustment you've had to make as a family moving to Paris? I'm jealous.
Ooh.
Me too.
Right?
Yes.
Biggest adjustment, smaller closets. My husband's got a wardrobe, and let me say, he's got a bigger wardrobe than me. I'm like, dude, can I get some space in here? They have little small closets in France.
Right.
But otherwise, my kids, they speak French. They speak, that's a double, like dual languages. Like now in France, now I'm kind of a prude when it comes to food. I'm like, oh, when I come to America, I'm like, this isn't fresh. You know? And also tips. They tip different over there.
Yes,
you tip for the service rather than because you have to tip by a certain percentage. In America, it's different, but you understand why you have to tip a certain way in America too.
Je parle français?
Je parle français, oui, je parle beaucoup de français.
Oh, très bien.
So I got myself a job.
Welcome to Miami Metro. The first day of the rest of your life.
Hopefully you're not a chip off the old block.
One that brought the blood to me while honing my skills with help from the people around me.
Gotta blend in. One wrong move, you ruin your life, your sister's, mine.
How did this series come to the two of you? Were you Dexter fans before, or did you have to quickly go and binge it before joining?
Well, for me, I was a Dexter fan. I hadn't watched the entire series. So that was when I found out I was auditioning, I started to dive into it. And then as I found out I got the role, then I was like, oh, okay, this is real. Okay, so I watched the whole, because then people started to tell me stuff about Maria.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, let me find out how this ends.
Right.
Great character.
So I definitely, I wanted to just go for reinforcement to understand the character, get back into it, see why people love it, fell in love with it. I found myself coming home every night and watching it. And I had some time because I had no kids. I was in LA shooting Dexter and my Dexter Original Sin. And my family was in Paris. I was like, I finally have the TV to myself. So I was so focused on having so much fun watching Dexter. So I just wanted to find ways for this to still be fun. People, especially Maria, she's such a strong character throughout the original that I wanted to find the tone of her, but also kind of implement this newness to her, something refreshing about who she was 15 years ago. Coming in as the first female narcotics detective at Miami Metro. It's big shoes to fill for her character and the big shoes for me to fill as playing this character. So the foundation of hers is so well set. I'm very lucky that that was what I had to work with. And then after that, I just got to have fun with it.
What would you say is the biggest challenge in taking that on? And did you get to talk with the original actress to just get a little bit of insight?
Well, I'll be honest. I reached out on Instagram.
You slid into DMs.
I didn't know I slid into her DMs.
She blocked you?
No, she didn't.
She was like,
she didn't block me. She just hasn't read my message. I was like, do I reach out? I was already nervous and I didn't want to add an extra layer.
She didn't get the DM.
But I was like, you know what? I sent her a DM. Yeah. She still hasn't seen it. I promise she hasn't seen it. But it was filled with compliments. And because I have so much respect for her, I've even seen her on Broadway. And I admire her my lifetime. I'm like, she is also like, we're like the same.
Yeah.
I studied her as Maria LaGuerta. I found little, things about her that I wanted to bring back and show in the character, whether it's how she spoke or inflections, different things like that. But I also just didn't get carried away.
Yeah.
And
it's not a mimic or a caricature. It's the younger version of her.
Yes. So we're all so different organic. Too. When we're younger.
Absolutely.
So.
How about yourself, Reno? I'm just curious. Were you a fan of the show? Your character was, I believe, referenced, but never seen.
He was referenced. They never said his name. They just mentioned Harry's best friend and former partner.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I watched a few episodes of Dexter back when it was on. I think I was doing another show at the time, so whatever. But when I got this job, then we went hardcore. My wife and I, and she doesn't binge much. Mm-hmm. But when my wife binges a show, then I know the show is good.
Yes.
We were watching 3 and 4 episodes a day.
Yeah.
And we knocked out, I think, all 8 seasons in a couple of months.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I got very steeped into the universe, into the world, into the tone. And I can't believe that I'm a part of this world. I get to play, Bobby Watt is Dexter and Deb's godfather. He's like Harry's best friend. And in our show, we get to go back into the 70s and see them as these young gung-ho narcotics detectives trying to make their bones, make their way up. And then we see them as these grizzled homicide detectives, welcoming the young LaGuerta, the young Batista. you know, the young Masuka, just
Some very cool eras, I'd say.
It's amazing, right, to be a part of
Glad
it.
they
So.
skipped the 80s.
Agreed.
It's
Because I wasn't gonna rock the Jerry curl. I wasn't gonna do it.
Wow.
Don't you feel like this new show fills in gaps that you might have had with the original?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every gap whatsoever, it's
Yeah.
filling it in. So this series reveals how Dexter became the serial killer we all know and love.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm curious, what part do your characters play in kind of shaping him and who he is going to become?
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think Dexter, he's an intern. He's a forensics intern.
Right.
So this is him kind of discovering, of course, not only on the side, his urges and kind of like trying to, you know,
Trying to hone his techniques.
hone that energy in a different direction.
Yeah.
But somebody who, my character, I feel like she sees this young guy who's got this theory. He's got these theories that are just so opposite of what everybody is thinking, how they're solving, and she needs that. And she's in a position where she's also kind of a loner. So she's like, I'm open to anything. I need to hear any possible option that's gonna help me figure out, solve this crime. So it's beautiful because she does kind of look to Dexter to see, like, some of the things don't really sound accurate, but it's worth listening to. And so I think
she's always kind of dug Dexter from the beginning.
Yeah, she did them.
And you know, my character, and I've known Dexter since he was a little boy, and to have him come work at Miami Metro, you know, I'm like his uncle, so I like, you know, grab him up, give him noogies, you know, hey, how you doing? Add that aspect to his world. Yeah.
Reno, audiences loved you as a different cop, unlike Molly.
Okay.
Yes.
How much does that cast stay in touch, though? Do you still talk to any of them?
Oh, I spoke to Billy 2 days ago. Yeah, I spoke to Billy 2 days ago. I have a podcast that I'm doing with Melissa that you can listen to called Hildy the Barback in the Land of Fire, her and her husband Ben. And yeah, we are super tight. I saw Lou Mastillo, who played Vince. He lives in New York City. It's crazy. We still have our text. Yeah.
It's important.
Family,
Yeah.
Don't we love that?
Yeah.